Hello there, I'm Myrna Loy of Blackbright News, and there are some subjects that cut across race, gender and everything. And Blackbright News, it comments about anything that affects our community, our society, our nation at large. And today I've decided to talk about the smartphone because I was watching a program in the UK called Panorama. And I know that a lot of us will realise that our phones are addictive, but I don't think many of us realise that they are programmed to be deliberately addictive. It's like behavioural cocaine, they call it. So regardless of what you do, you'll find yourself drawn to it. Now, the reason you pick up a smartphone, you have to ask yourself, why am I picking up my phone? Am I picking it up to call someone? Am I picking it up because I have an appointment and I want to check whether or not the appointment has changed? Am I picking it up to check information, to update myself, to educate myself, to elevate myself? Are they the reasons you're picking it up? If that's the case, then there's no need to worry. But you do have people who pick up the phone to seek validation, to seek endorsement, to make them feel better about themselves. If they've sent a message or if they've responded to something, they want to see if the person has responded back. If the person hasn't responded back, they take it personally and think, oh, I wonder if what I said was correct. I wonder if what I said was right. I wonder if what I said had any meaning. Maybe what I said was stupid. And they start questioning themselves because somebody hasn't responded, somebody hasn't liked what they've said, somebody hasn't validated or endorsed what they've said. When the truth of the matter is, maybe the individual or individuals have got so much on their plate, they haven't had time, or they're just not at that place where they feel they need to respond. Not everything that is written requires a response unless you're asking a specific question. And a lot of people, they don't ask specific questions, they make a statement. And then especially on Facebook that has 2 billion members, it's even more a ground for people to feel insecure if they do not get responses. If they look at one person's profile and say they've got 5,000 friends when they've only got about 5 or 6, and they're thinking to themselves, how come that person has got so many and I haven't got them? What do I need to do to attract so many viewers or so many followers? And that's what happens. You know, we have to think about the people who program the phones. They've got this thing, a lot of them, they choose psychologists and psychiatric people, mental health professionals. That's what they use, and they use tech addiction. Sorry about swallowing my words. But they do this to deliberately find ways for people to become addicted to the phone or addicted to Facebook, because that's the way they make their money. You get addicted, they exploit your time, and then they sell advertising. So every time you'll notice that sometimes I'll put my phone on and out of the blue, something comes up which I haven't even pressed a button for. Like I noticed this morning, I switched on my phone. Well, I didn't switch it on, it was already on. I pressed the menu button and Wish came up, which is a selling program. Now, I didn't ask for that to come up, but it comes up anyway. And what I'm saying is I often go through my phone and I disable notifications because I do not want to be notified of every single thing that I've put on, because otherwise you'll spend most of your time responding to every single notification, or you react to the notification. So even though you don't want to respond to it, that little ping, you're kind of thinking, oh, I wonder if I should. I wonder if it's important. I mean, when people write to you, as far as they're concerned, they are important. Whatever they've got to say is important to them. But that doesn't mean because somebody doesn't respond, it's not important. It just means that that person hasn't deemed it a priority in their lives. So we have to put things into perspective. Facebook has employed a black vice president for Facebook. And I was wondering whether he was there to, exploit the black minds. You know what I mean? He'll know what black people are addicted to, what they're not. So they've got one of them on. They've got one of the little blacks on their teams to kind of do that job for them. But we have to appreciate that it is all a game. For some people, it's a game, it's a living, it's a lifestyle. What can I do? It's a challenge. What can I do? We're all in a behavioural experiment, like those little rats that they put in boxes and ping lights, like the pigeons that they put in a case and see how many times their beak is going to tap. Like the dogs, Paloma's dogs, it's all based on reward. And sometimes, if we get a like, it like, oh my God, somebody likes what I've said. It actually creates dopamine, and you actually keep going back for more likes or for some more endorsement, and you kind of look and think, oh, what did I say in that video, or what did I say in that text or in that post that encouraged so many likes? I wonder what else I can say in order to get that many likes. And you spend your time, instead of going about your daily business and doing what you're meant to do or fulfilling your purpose, you're addicted to the phone or to Facebook or to other social media apps. I mean, have you tried putting down your phone and saying, I'm not going to take my phone to work with me today? You know what will happen? You'll justify and say, oh, supposing my family calls, supposing my daughter calls, supposing my son calls, supposing I get a call from work. You'll find an excuse to carry your phone. What happened before we had mobile phones? People would have to wait, regardless of an emergency, until you got home and listened to your answer phone. That's how it used to be. Not now. You're on call all the time, and you realise how much stress that is for people to know that you are available and you should be answering your app. And you know what a lot of people do, which pisses me off, excuse my French, is that those apps that tell you when you were last online. Not only did they start checking when you were last online, and they've got the audacity to say, oh, you were last online and such, but you haven't answered my post, or you haven't responded to my post. I mean, it's a tracking device, not only by the system, but by friends and families and everybody. Is that what you want? Do you want to be tracked down? Do you want to be drawn into this thing that you can't get out of? Smartphones and Facebook, they should come with a health warning. You know what I mean? And now even children as young as 2 and 3, they know how it works. It's been designed in such a way that even a 1 or 2 year old knows how to work the smartphone. Have you thought about that? Sometimes you see these little children working smartphones and you think to yourself, bloody hell, how do they do that? I don't even know that about the phone. And today after watching Panorama, I realised even the colours of the phone are designed to addict you. Now, there is a way you can put it on monochrome, but for the hell of me, even though I've gone on Google to find out how you do it, I can't find that option on the phone. I've done everything because I thought to myself, I don't want to be addicted. I have a job to do which involves the phone, but sometimes you'll find you'll go to do one thing on the phone and you end up doing something else. You go to spend a phone for 5 minutes, when you look up, you find you've been on the phone for a couple of hours or a few hours sometimes, depending on whether you're working or depending on what's stopping you from being on the phone. It's absolutely ridiculous. And I'm kind of glad that they've banned phones in cars because they're distracting. People don't realise, they think, oh, well, if the car is on the seat, it's okay. I'm not actually speaking to the person. But something that person says could trigger something and make you lose concentration when you're driving. So the phone should be turned off completely. There shouldn't be that distraction. So I'm quite pleased that that's been done. Anyway, I babbled on long enough with this thing. I do hope that you do try, just to test your addiction. Try to put down the phone for a few hours. Try not to take your phone to work with you every day and just come home and look at it in the evening, or try to schedule a certain amount of time. You've got your time for work, you've got your time for play, you've got your time for rest. In your play, if that's what you choose to do for play, allocate a couple of hours for that and make sure you don't go over it. It's the only way, because otherwise you're going to be sucked into this reward system and this addiction system, and you're not going to be able to get out. And you know what's going to happen? They're going to put, all kinds of software in there to even make it worse over time. And it's just not worth it. I'm not even going to babble on anymore. Anyway, I hope you found this useful. Take care now. Bye-bye.